I've seen photographs where the lid blew off the pot and stuck into the ceiling, and there's contents all over the place. And of course, the companies try to defend themselves any way they can, and they want to argue that, well, your client must have spilled the pot on themselves. Well, when you have photographs of vegetables on the ceiling and on the walls, that kind of takes that argument away from them.
Well, there's a good chance that you're cooking from home more than ever right now, but could you be putting you and your family's health at risk? That's what we're going to ask the lawyer today on today's episode. Hi there, I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. My guest is attorney George McLaughlin from Denver. George, thank you for making some time to answer our questions today. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just start at the beginning. What is the product or products we're talking about, and what is happening that is causing people to get injured?
Well, there's a whole range of products. They're generally pressure cookers, both electric pressure cookers and stovetop pressure cookers. By design, under modern standards, the lid of a pressure cooker should not be able to be removed if the contents are still under pressure. And yet we're finding with a number of manufacturers, both electric pressure cookers that are self-contained units and those that you put on the stove and heat with your stovetop, that people are able to open the lids and the contents just explode all over them, causing serious second-degree and sometimes even third-degree burns.
Well, that sounds terrible. So there is at least one or two brand names that people may have heard of. They're very popular. Can you tell us what some of the ones that people should be on the lookout for?
Well, I just recently filed a case in the Seattle area against a company that makes a product called the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot has had a number of lawsuits filed against it around the country where the consumer claims that as they were attempting to open the pressure cooker, the contents exploded all over them, that it was clearly still under pressure. There are a number of other manufacturers, probably 20 different manufacturers of products that are similar to this. Most of them are made in China, and different companies end up putting their brand name on it. I have a new case that I'm getting ready to file against a company called Notoric.
And what should happen? What should someone do if this happens to them? There's, what am I thinking of? The contents of the pot explode. There's burns. They're injured. What's your advice, George? What's the first thing they do? Obviously, get medical help, I'm assuming.
Well, what people do first, most of the time, is they run to the car and get themselves to the emergency room because they're very seriously burned.
Right.
Not everyone is burned quite so bad or thinks to go to the emergency room right away. They think they can handle it. But when it comes to what happened, what you should do is first you got to preserve the product. I wouldn't even clean it. Just leave it as is. It's good if you think of it to take photographs. I have clients that did take photographs shortly after the incident, documenting how serious their burns were. Most of them, under the stress of the moment, don't think to do such things as take photographs of the kitchen and where the product spewed the contents all over the place. But if you think of it, you really should document the condition. I've seen photographs where the lid blew off the pot and stuck into the ceiling.
Wow.
And there's contents all over the place. And of course, the companies try to defend themselves any way they can. And they want to argue that, well, your client must have spilled the pot on themselves. Well, when you have photographs of vegetables on the ceiling and on the walls, that kind of takes that argument away from them.
Now, George, if someone's watching this and they're thinking, wait, that happened to me. I didn't even think about that there could be a case, and maybe they threw away the pot. Does that mean they don't have a case at that point? Is it too late then to do anything?
It's much more difficult without the product. In some states, it would be a complete bar, but not necessarily. I'd be happy to talk to anybody, even if they had disposed of the product or sent it back to the company. It's possible that they still be able to bring a supportable claim, but having the pot itself is the best evidence. If it can be preserved, it needs to be preserved.
And is it your advice then, once they get medical attention, hopefully save all the evidence, to contact an attorney like yourself who's got a lot of experience in these cases?
Yes, you should contact a lawyer as soon as you realize that this shouldn't happen to you, and that this is wrong and the product needs to be fixed, call a lawyer. A lawyer will give you good advice on how to preserve the evidence and what steps to take. But we all always tell our clients, first, take care of yourself. Get the medical care you need. Preserve all the evidence, and then give us a call, and we'll be happy to talk with you about the legal process.
You're based in Colorado, but you are willing to talk to anybody anywhere in the country, correct?
Yes, I do product liabilities all over the country. I've had cases in probably more than 40 states over the years for various products. So I have a national practice when it comes to product liability cases, but I am based in Denver, Colorado.
So are there a lot of suits currently in progress for these products, George? And do you expect to see them come off of shelves? Do you expect to see some big changes come out of this eventually?
Well, I think there should be a big change. I think there should be a recall of the products that are having problems with the lid lock safety feature. This shouldn't happen, and it doesn't happen with all of the products. So the ones that are having a lid lock feature, I am very suspicious that there is a design issue that could be addressed by coming up with a better design and replacing the product. But they're still on the shelves. They sell literally millions of these under the various manufacturers' names every year. It's a very popular product these days.
And that sort of leads into my next question, and it may be too soon to tell, but I started off by saying more and more people are cooking at home now during quarantining than ever before. Do you feel like you're going to see an increase of these kind of cases during this time?
I think there probably will be an increase in these kinds of cases. You'd asked if there are a number of lawsuits. Just with the Instant Pot product alone, I was aware of 11 other filed cases when I last looked around the country to see how many cases there were. I'm not able to see every state court docket. I can search the federal docket, and there are cases against other manufacturers. So I suspect that there are going to be more and more of these. And one of the issues is you could have a product that has a bad lid lock safety feature, and it doesn't cause you any harm or any injury because just by the circumstances of the way you used the product, you never tried to open it when there really was still pressure in the product. But a lot of people that have been injured, they opened it having checked to see that, yes, the product is indicating it's not under pressure. And when they go to open it, boom, it is.
Right.
Well, there could be hundreds of thousands of products out there that just by coincidence, the person has not yet tried to open it when it in fact still had pressure in it. And so just by luck, they've not attempted to open it when the pressure was still there.
So what you're saying is there could be people that are, the product is there, they're using it every day, and it may be, for lack of a better term, a ticking time bomb. They just haven't had that happen yet, but it still could happen to their product.
Yes.
Wow. And George, what if somebody's thinking, I just got injured. This is maybe a child is injured. I know you've said before you've had a case where there was a child that was injured. What if they're thinking, I can't afford an attorney to help me with this?
Well, myself and most attorneys that do product liability cases, we take these cases without asking the client to pay any kind of a fee up front. There's no retainer. There's no fee paid along the way. If we're able to get a good result for the client and they get a monetary recovery, then we get paid.
Excellent. George, thank you so much for your help. It's a fascinating topic and a very timely one right now. I appreciate you answering our questions today.
Well, thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been attorney George McLaughlin of Denver. If you want the best information or you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com. Also, please take a sec to like, share, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.